Hello again, and welcome to session 26 of my Pillars of Eternity Lorethrough. We are currently in the Scrivener's Dormitory in Copper Lane in Defiance Bay. This is being recorded on June 20th, 2023, which is the same day as I recorded the last session. We finished up a few quests last time. We talked about Adra and examined the map of the Eastern Reach, and we started to look for Vianna, who may know the whereabouts of the Theories of Pengram, which an animancer was looking for in Brackenbury Sanitarium. So let's head over to Andra's Gift now, where she supposedly is. Last session we also gave Tenwith back his amulet and didn't accept any money from him, so he was very grateful for that. And we finished up a few quests. Okay, so we have 2 abandoned houses up here. Let's try this one first. I think this one was, there was a bunch of attics in this one last time, but let's see. Yeah. Unless, of course, he's in Colfetch's house and he got the name wrong. We have been in here before. Dadwina. As you enter the room, you see several figures huddled together. They stand attention, armed, but not in matched gear like the Crucible Knights. At the center of the group, one woman looms over another, holding a flail. She snarls at the cowering figure. "You've got pages of research here. You expect me to believe this was just your scratch work?" "This is Vianna." "It's nothing, I promise. Just my notes." You hear a painful smack as the woman backhands her captive. "We know you were meeting with the Crucible Knights. You think you're the only ones with power in this city? They call us the Dozens for a reason. Now, I won't ask you again." At a nudge from one of her men, the woman turns and sees you watching, her eyes narrow. "You shouldn't be here." So this is making me glad that I chose to go with the Crucible Knights this time around. The Dozens don't seem like such great people. They were the ones that were setting their soldiers on people who worked at Salty Mast, and here we have them beating up a scholar. I'm going to tell her to leave her alone. She raises her flail and rushes at you. Okay. I hope they don't start attacking Vianna, but let's go get these people.
Lava beyond.
That wasn't a very difficult fight. Vianna. Vianna's face is covered in bruises, and her eyes are wide with shock and relief. I don't know who you are, but thank you." Rapid, hitching breaths punctuate her words. "I was sure they were going to kill me." She wipes a tear from her cheek, wincing as her knuckle grazes a bruise. "We gained some experience. What just happened here?" "I thought I was coming to meet my, friend from the Republics. It looks like I walked into a trap." She shakes her head. "The Dozens must have been watching me for a while. I'd been working on a special project for the Crucible Knights, and they weren't exactly subtle about contacting me." "Oh, this isn't the Theorems of Pengram person. This is the person that Cleaver wanted us to get in touch with for the Knights of the Crucible." Okay. Tell me about yourself." "I studied animancy and Asia back in the Valian Republics. I came to Defiance Bay to research local advances, but instead of going to Brackenbury Sanitarium, I found a position as a scrivener in the Temple of Wall. I've had access to many rare manuscripts that most animancers never see," she shrugs. "Of course, I've had to keep my head down. I've been careful not to let the head librarian or my colleagues know what I'm working on. So it seems like she's working in the Temple of Wall, in the Hall of Revealed Mysteries, kind of like as a secret animancer almost, like she's just trying to do some studies there, not telling them about who she actually is. Now about this project. It deals with a rather rare branch of animancy. No offense, but I probably shouldn't get too specific without Commander Cleaver's permission. He commissioned it, after all. She laughs nervously, and you can see the trouble a little indiscretion has gotten me into. Let's get out of here. She nods in a split lip. Commander Cleaver of the Crucible Knights is waiting on my research. Not that you haven't already done a lot for me, but maybe you could take it to him. I'd kept it with me to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands, but you can see how well that worked out. She nods at Dodmia's corpse. She took it from me when I arrived. She takes a deep breath. Anyhow, don't wait on me. I can make my own way out of here. Okay. Yep, here's the notes here. Ooh. And we have some unique heavy armor. Aru Breaker. This robust brigandine has been repeatedly reinforced by the Adherent adventurer who once owned it. Thickly padded, the armor was dubbed Aru Breaker, Arrow Breaker. It served the adventurer well until her fame and fortune made her grow complacent, and she allowed an opponent to get too close. While Arrowbreaker protected her from projectiles, it didn't provide the same protection against a mace to the side of the head. Okay. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. And then we have Vianna's research. These pages contain Vianna's research on Gwithan techniques for imbuing matter with essence. She appears to have developed a method based on her studies of animats. On the first page is a note to someone named Dunstan. Dunstan is the blacksmith at the Knights of the Crucible, and we have dealt with some animats in Andra's Gift. So let's take these. I feel like Kana wears heavy armor, but let's see. It's just a fine flail. The rope coiled around the chair feels painfully scratchy. The water in the pail is murky with blood.
Of course.
I remember that. I still don't have any room for another one. Is there something I wanted to... Oh, yeah. What does Kana wear? He has a fine brigandine. It's not as good damage reduction. It lets him move faster and plus 10 deflection against ranged attacks. Does a deer wear heavy armor? No, he wears medium armor. Plus he's got his own special thing. Okay. We're just going to leave that be for now. So let's head back to the Knights of the Crucible.
5 siblings?
That's right. Between the 6 of us, I don't think the house has known a single day's quiet. Of course, a little chaos makes it far easier to get away with mischief.
Yes, I can imagine that comes in handy.
Let's Crucible Keep. Hope we're not doing something bad and giving these guys their own little automaton army. Because like I think I've said, I don't think the Dozens or the Knights of the Crucible are either particularly upstanding groups. Commander Cleaver said you're working with an animancer to build Forge Knights. Let's ask a little bit about this before we actually give it to him.
So much for his talk of secrecy. I'm building Cleaver's metal warriors. He says they're what we need to keep order in Defiance Bay, so...
He shrugs and shakes his head. Do you disagree with... Well, first let's ask, how are you creating these Forge Knights? Suits of armor and souls. Cleaver's had me repairing and reinforcing unused armor for months now, just so we can fill them with some poor sod's essence. He wipes his shining brow. As long as that scholar girl's got her numbers right, infusing the armor with a soul won't be that hard, but that's not what bothers me. Do you disagree with Cleaver about the Forge Knights? I disagree with him on near about everything, and this is no exception. These Forge Knights won't solve our manpower problem. He can call them what he wants, but they aren't knights. Doesn't take Itamak's nose to smell the trouble here. A group that can't stand together is headed for a fall. So Sagani seems more upset that there are dissenters in the ranks of the Knights of the Crucible, rather than the fact that these people are trying to put together an army of basically automatons, as I've been saying. He folds his arm and looks at the ground. And don't get me started on the other problem. These souls he's brought to power the Forge Knights. Cleaver keeps telling himself that they came from willing donors, but he knows better. There's a reason you have to buy souls through less than legal channels. We should be clearing those scavengers off the road, not doing business with them. And you need Vianna's research to complete them. She's been working out a method to transfer the souls into the armor. Getting the process just right is critical. He holds up one hand. Bind the souls too tightly, and you get something like those flesh constructs at the sanitarium. We didn't see those. Barely bright enough to avoid walking into a wall. He raises his other hand. But bind them too loosely, and they'll be too self-aware for their own good. Mad killers in metal bodies. Enough about the Forge Knights? Alright, let's give it to him. Actually, let's go talk to Cleaver first. See if maybe we can change his mind a little bit, although I doubt it. He's not there. He's up here. Let's see. I've got Vianna's notes. Well done. Bring them to Dunstan at once. When you've finished, I may have more work for you. Okay, so there's nothing we can say to him.
I suppose Cleaver's sent you down here to get me working on those Forge Knights, eh?
Alright, let's give him the notes. I think this is what you've been looking for.
That's what Cleaver's been looking for anyway. If you found it, I guess I've got to start.
You don't sound too happy about this. I'm not, and I'm surprised someone as strong-willed as you is going along with it. I've made it clear to Cleaver that this is a mistake, trying to harness souls like this. It's a crime against the gods. It's bound to earn us more trouble than it saves, but Cleaver's given me his orders, so I've got to build these things the best I can. Anyway, Cleaver's told me I'm to sell you any arms or armor you might want. You won't find any better anywhere in Defiance Bay, I can promise you that.
Now, time to see if that Valian was worth all that blood and copper.
He takes a polished breastplate and goes to work.
I'll be damned. To be honest, even I wasn't expecting it to work this well. Back to it. Cleaver will want me to finish the rest of them. And it sounded like he has a job for you, too.
Okay. Does that mean that he created the armor for the knight, or the actual knight? Show me what you have for sale. We have a unique weapon called the White Spire. It is a unique S-stock. The White Spire was found among the possessions of a member of the Order of Bleakwalkers, though it seems to have predated her. The spiraling engravings upon the blade are flanked by small, finely etched symbols of binding and enchantment, which might be credited with the permanent chill on the metal and the thin dusting of frost upon the S-stock's hilt. So it grants blizzard. It won't tell me what blizzard is. I think blizzard is a spell. I'm sure it's got something to do with freezing or something like that. Alright. I don't know if I feel good about what I just did. How may I be of assistance? Was there more you needed me to do?
Dunstan will complete the first squad of Forge Knights in no time. Now the High Justice will want to have his forge masters at Fleetbreaker Castle create more. I've made a copy of Vianna's research, and the High Justice has sent a courier to Anslog's Compass to retrieve it. The dozens have gotten too active for the courier to come to Defiance Bay, and after Vianna's kidnapping, we've got to assume they know about our plans. That's why I'm sending you to deliver the research. You shouldn't be recognizable to the dozens. Yet.
We're in the thick of it now, if the High Justice is involved, considering a political career out here, Bjarter. But after this, says Cleaver, I expect they'll learn of your association with us, meaning the dozens, and they won't be too happy about it. Neither will the Dominels. He snorts. They're trying to expand the family business, and they resent us for standing in the way. All right, consider it done.
Anslog's Compass is a small lagoon just north of Defiance Bay.
Been there?
Your contact will be a commander named Arenroad. She'll meet you by the docks. Return to me when you've finished. The High Justice has made the expansion of the Forge Knights his top priority, which means it's mine as well.
Okay. So we got a new quest to bring the notes for the Forge Knights over to a new person in Anslog's Compass. So let's see, what do we want to do next here? Oh, I need to take the scepter pieces to Nons in the Brackenberry Sanitarium. I need to go to Heritage Hill. I need to retrieve a stolen scroll of wall. I need to go to the lighthouse. Still need to raise an army. I wonder if those Forge Knights will fight for me in this army. I need to go to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries, and I'll need to find the Elder Archives to get them. So I think first I should get the forget which quest it was, but there was something in that I needed to get for someone in the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Maybe they'll give me access to the Elder Archives at some point. There's a cave with multicolored pools and a rising waterfall. Okay. All right, let's go to Heritage Hill. Maybe that'll be what we do next. Actually, first let's tell Lord Reymont. And that way we can also find out about this scepter. So this is Reymont Manor. We'll go tell him about the plot to rob him, especially since we're not good friends with the Dominels. You know what else I want to take a look at here? How's Bjarter's reputation looking? He is benevolent, clever, stoic, diplomatic, passionate, rational, and honest. Mostly just a really nice guy. In Defiance Bay, he has a faintly good reputation. That's where we are now, and we need to move it up to move Adir's quest forward. In Gilded Vale, we are the champion. That's probably because we killed Radric and in inserted Kolsch as the new ruler. We haven't been to Twin Elms yet, so it's neutral. We are allies to the Knights of the Crucible. We are troublemakers for the Dozens, and we are a terror to House Dominel. Oh, this is interesting here. I think this, it says most powerful enemy defeated. It says Biartu is the Diran priest, Kana is Captain Emery, Aloth's the Diran priest, Sagani is the Diran beguiler. I think that was the party. They were all working with Captain Emery, so that fight that I had a difficult time with, that's why, because they were powerful enemies. Alright, Lord Reymont. Alright, let's see what he says.
Hello.
Give him the letter. I've uncovered a plot to rob you. He lowers his papers and looks at you for the first time. Is that so? Let me see that. He scans the parchment with the speed of an expert clerk. When he returns his attention to you, his tone is brisk and businesslike. You've done this house and this city a great service. I'm certain you will consider this an adequate reward for your labors. Just experience? Intellect 16. I think it's worth it to take extra money from nobles when I can, so that jewel is worth a lot more than 2,000 pawns. Indeed, but notice of a plot does not carry quite the same value. Good point. I got 2,000 copper and a ring of unshackling. The corners of his mouth curl into a wry smile. Still, far be it from me to sour a fruitful relationship. Lord Reymont produces another purse. Now, I trust that will be all. The letter was signed AD. Does that mean anything to you? I suspect it means Abercon Dominel, the sign of House Dominel. A look of disgust crosses his face. A pampered, pandered lad, if ever there was one. So yes, it was a Dominel. He's ruthless, I'll give him that much. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the wits to match his appetites. Tell me about House Dominel. They were once an eminent and admired house. Now they're just a den of thieves. Back in the Deerwood's colonial days, the Dominels were respected members of the ducal court, which is why it was so surprising that they remained loyal to Adir during Hadrit's rebellion. When Hadrit and the Deerwood wanted independence, the Dominels lost their favor, but not their wealth. Rather than return to Edir, like other loyalist houses, they dug their heels in here and turned from politics to commerce. He shrugs. In one way of looking at it, they simply partnered with the wrong side, not that they haven't prospered since in their own way. He rubs his jaw. Lately, they've been seeking to carve out a new niche for themselves, one right between the Crucible Knights and the Dozens, it seems. What's so important about this gem? The heart of the White March is nearly flawless diamond. It's also the patrimony of the dwarves of White March. It was seized by an Adiran lord in the early days of colonization, and the dwarves haven't forgotten about it. Now, the Knights and the Dozens are both bidding for it to make a peace offering to the dwarves. He shrugs. Whatever party buys it, the dwarves will make useful allies for Defiance Bay, especially these days. So what will you do now? I want to read this again. The heart of the White March is a nearly flawless diamond. It's also the patrimony of the dwarves of White March. So patrimony means it was inherited from a male ancestor or father. So it belonged to the dwarves of White March, and it was seized by an Adiran lord in the early days of colonization, and the dwarves haven't forgotten it. Now the Knights and the Dozens are both bidding for it to make a peace offering to the dwarves. Okay, so both the Crucible Knights and the Dozens want the heart of White March, and he's kind of hoping that this bidding war makes him rich. So stealing the heart of the White March would have been bad. It would have put that money into the House Dominel's house. What will you do now? Lord Reymont pinches crisp, sharp creases into the note. Eliminate the competition. Farewell. That's a weird time to just say farewell. I have informed Lord Reymont of the plot to steal his prize jewel, the heart of the White March, from his home. That's it. Okay. I'm going to release Eorn. I wonder if the Knights of the Crucible will have something to say about that, but let's see. Hopefully he's learned his lesson. Can I go upstairs now that I am a friend to the Reymonts? Does that matter? No, it's just House Dominel. Nope, still can't come upstairs. Okay, let's go talk to someone in the sanitarium. I know their name starts with an N. Maybe it's Nedden right here.
Hail, traveler.
Not Nedden. Nons, that's who it is.
Well met, friend.
An elderly woman peruses the shelves with a quickness and an energy that belie her age. I'm afraid I don't practice anymore, child. Too busy with my research. Let's find out a little bit about her. What do you do here? I'm an animancer. Used to venture on all kinds of underfunded and ill-fated trips out of the expedition hall when I was your age, but lately I found research better suited to my current pace. She pats a creaking knee and laughs. Nan regards you with a bright, intelligent eyes. Can I help you with something else? Immortal sent me. He said you'd be interested in these scepter pieces we found. That chatty old fishwife's been blabbing about me, I see. She laughs and rolls her eyes. Never trust your secrets to a man with so much salt in his beard. Anyway, let's see what you've got. Nans examines the scepter, her eyes hooded by crinkled flesh. Immortal told you true. I'll buy this. Unfortunately, a broken scepter isn't as valuable as he may have led you to believe. He steals a glance at your face, but her fingers tighten around the piece in her hands. I'll take it off you for 500. Yeah, nonsense. This could easily be repaired by someone with the proper skills. Use my lore there to say that. Her eyes flash under the sagging lids. I've got the skills all right, and you know more than the average relic hunter I see. Making it whole again is a matter of alchemy, expensive alchemy. I've got to soak the broken ends in a fiend's blood compound to reconnect them, never mind the embalming work to restore the enchantments. She eyes you. I could do it to the tune of 1,800 pawns. Yeah, let's put it together. Give 1,800 copper pawns, put the scepter back together. I expect you'll want to watch and see what your money's put to good use. Better get comfortable then. She lays out an array of powders, potions, and other obscure ingredients on her desk. After what feels like hours, she returns to the main hall with you and presents the scepter. Looking at it, you'd never know it had been broken in the first place. This may be the finest work I've ever done, if I may say so. And thank you for giving me the opportunity. Examining a piece like this is a dream come true for someone in my field. She gazes at it wistfully. Take good care of it. We got an Ingwithan scepter and some experience. Farewell. Did it get put into the stash? Looks like it did. Nope. Oh, here it is. Ingwithan scepter. The Ingwithan weapon was restored from fragments you found in Andra's gift. The shaft is covered with invocations and the opal finial is inscribed with runes. It's just a regular scepter. Damage 11 to 18. And Aloth's soulbound weapon is 11 to 17. Durance uses a staff. Oh. Oh well. Not as good as I thought it was going to be. Oh, craft hall construction completed. Oh, I didn't notice. I wonder if it did take hours of time in the world for her to complete doing that. What's next? Curio shop, artificer's hall, chapel. You know what? I'm going to do the hedge maze because we get some security for that. here's a bunch of things in Bright Hollow. So you can make it look nicer there. I think the barracks were the one... Yeah. I feel like there was something here that allowed me to train people, but I guess not, because I want to build up my army. Oh well. So let's go to next. What was my initial? It was the hedge maze. Yeah. Let's do the hedge maze. Okay. Also, I noticed this over here. What's this? Hirelings. Okay. So we can hire people to kind of protect our stronghold here, and we have to pay them by the day. So let's see if that makes a big dent in our finances. Alright, what's next? Oh, I wanted to go to Heritage Hill. Should I go to Heritage Hill first or the Temple of Woodica? Let's go to Heritage Hill first. Best turn around, traveler. Heritage Hill is closed. Not to us.
Gods keep you.
What's going on in there? I'm sorry, the Justiciar says, sorry, but this district's closed by the order of the Duke himself. What's going on in there? Both guards look at each other. Look, even if I were allowed to tell you, I don't rightly know. All I can say is it, whatever it is, started about 2 months ago. The guards that closed the gate talked of something unnatural that still wakes them in the middle of the night. I don't want to know any more than that. Was there anything else? Wyla sent me. I'm looking into the missing guards. So you're the one she sent word about. The guard looks you up and down, frowning. I was expecting her to send in a whole squad of justiciars. Not that I'm volunteering, mind you. I'll have the gate opened immediately. Just watch your step. I'm afraid we can't send anyone after you if this goes badly. Any idea what might have happened to the other guards? None, and I have no desire to find out if you catch my meaning. The ones that disappeared weren't the deserting type. The worst part is, both times the watch disappeared, the next rotation found the gate unlocked. I don't know whether they went in or whether something got out, but if it's the latter, refugees are going to be the least of our problems. Heard or seen anything unusual? Friend, I try to see and hear as little as possible. One of the women on the last watch said she heard someone shouting from the northeast part of the district, something that sounded like an order, but I don't see how anyone could survive in there. Once or twice, I've caught a glimpse of something moving to the other side of the gate. The guard shudders. I'd just as soon forget it. Farewell. Alright, let's see.
Place gets my blood beating.
Some skeletons in here.
Dead on.
Of course.
Got some camping supplies if we need them, and a trap. Something twitches and shambles in the darkness between the slats. A rancid draft creeps from the house. I'm just remembering, too, that something we read said that there was that's right, when we were reading about Audra, it said that there was still an Audra machine that was functioning in Heritage Hill. Heritage Hill Cemetery.
I can do that. That's settled.
I wonder if I should be scared.
I'll take a look.
Actually, we have a Dargul here. What is it immune to?
I have them.
Nope, nothing. Bjartur probably tried to mind control him or something like that. These vaults have already been pried open. Let me see if that's what it was. Not seeing anything about it being immune. Okay. It's not that big enough. So ghouls and skeletons are vessels that have died, but are still kind of restless.
I can do that. That's settled.
Spellword amulet. Plus 10 defense against spells. Wonder if he needs an amulet. Reflex and a healing bonus. Let's go with Aloth. Crosshatched claw marks score this vault.
I'll see what I can find.
Not only does that Holy Radiance clearances damage vessels like this, but I upgraded it so it damages them even more. As usual, kinda. Oh! We upgraded Geared Henwin's Stains, the Soulbound Scepter that Aloth has. We dealt 200 raw damage to enemies. So next we need to deal 300 damage to dazed enemies with Geared Henwin's Stain to unlock the next level. Doesn't say what we got new. This looks like the same damage. Maybe it's plus 20% raw damage. Okay.
All right then.
A small plaque at the base reads, "Freedom above all, Admeth Hadret." Admeth Hadret is the man who led the rebellion that the Deerwood gained their independence from the Edir Empire.
I'm on the trail.
The inscription underneath the family crest reads, Valtas. Need a key? It looks like someone smashed the family crest of this mausoleum with a hammer. The inscription beneath it is illegible. Lyra and enthralled Justicars. Okay, I wonder what she is. Lyra. A woman turns when you enter. Her wide, pale eyes shine like lamps in the darkness of the tomb. 4 Crucible Knights hover nearby, their glazed expression fixed on her. Reinforcements at last. I hope you've come armed, because we've got to get out of here. Something about her seems hazy and insubstantial, even in the darkness of the tomb. Who are you? A commander of the Crucible Knights. I led the militia stationed around Heritage Hill. Securing the district became my responsibility when this, whatever it is, happened. What are you doing here? I came searching for survivors. Only too late did I realize there weren't any. She brings a hand to her head. Her skin is practically translucent. I found myself surrounded by those creatures outside and I had to seek refuge. Funny, isn't it? To hide from the dead in a building that was meant to hold them in the first place. She pats the wall of the tomb. Anyway, I've been waiting for reinforcements. What are these soldiers doing here? She looks at them, but either she doesn't notice their distant gazes and the way they sway on their feet, or she thinks of nothing. They're under my command, of course. They heard my call, and we've been waiting on a few more to help us fight our way out of here. How did they manage to hear you in this tomb? Her eyes flash. There's something unnatural about the way she hovers, watching you. I hope you're not questioning my command. I'm warning you. I don't tolerate insubordination. Let's say not at all. Then, if you've caught your breath, we should move out. So they are obviously enthralled by this woman who's some kind of specter here. I wonder if she is the specter of a former Crucible Knight commander, or if she's just like some kind of a siren or something. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you're already dead. Her eyes grow cold and hard. You'd better explain yourself, and quickly. You're a ghost, and you've been luring Crucible Knights to their deaths. She freezes in place, hovering in the air. No, that's impossible. It's only been... I can't be... The other side of the tomb is visible through her gaping mouth. She looks at her hands, seemingly for the first time, turning them in front of her. As her eyes and her mouth widen in horror, she turns to you. What have you done to me? Her expression hardens, and the Crucible Knights behind her stir. Novitiates, attack! So it doesn't seem like she even knew that she was dead. She just thought she was still the commander of the Crucible Knights here.
Not. Getting from me.
Did he not cast it before? Looks like one went down.
Lava will be on sea.
that's right. I can summon some beetles too. Whoa.
You're not. All right then.
Something bad just happened. Okay, so that did not go well. And this is another place that we have to go. Maybe it's time to do critical path. We will map out Heritage Hill here.
Of course.
And then we'll come back to that fight when we are more prepared.
I can do that. That's settled.
Got some balloon and opal. Wait. Let's get these revenants first. As always, there's a whole bunch that I didn't see. That's okay. I can get these guys.
All right then.
From here, the mansion appears deserted. Okay, so this is a mansion. Oop, oop.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Seda, let us in, says Lord Valtus. It's safe. Come out now, says Lady Valtus. Amelia Valtus. Open the door, Seda. The female Dargwolf sniffs the air and whirls around, hissing, Survivor! So these are Dargwolves, but they're talking? I'm gonna look up Dargwolves after this. Safe haven. Search for Seda in the Valtus Manor and Heritage Hall. 3 Dargwolves were crowded around a door. Okay, so this is a new quest.
Leave it to me.
Okay, so they're dead.
Of course.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea. A simple test. That's settled.
Valtus Manor Key. This ornate brass key displays the symbol of House Valtus, a crossed sword and spear. I just didn't want to get caught in that doorway. Since that always seems to go bad and people don't know how to get through it in order to attack.
Leave it to me!
That's right, I wanted to look up Darkles here. So Darkles have reached the first irreversible step of the decay of a nominally dead body sustained by soul energy. At this stage, they have lost some portion of their memories and mental abilities, but they retain the self-awareness and recognize their own decline. Their insatiable hunger and inevitable decay makes Darkles more reckless and aggressive than vampires, even as they are compelled to seek out secret and secluded environments so as to avoid drawing attention and wrath of civilized communities. Some vampires dread this stage more than those that follow, for they know that they will retain enough of their faculties to fully experience their own downfall. So this is the second stage of undeath in this world, vessels, where they are still kind of aware that they were once human and they were aware of their downfall, which does sound pretty horrific.
Of course.
I'll see what I can find.
We have Lord Baltus's will here. A last will and testament has been carefully drawn up on a stained piece of sackcloth. It lists Lord Baltus's various titles and holdings, ending with the following. Should no member of my family survive, it is my wish that my wealth and property be dispensed to the Crucible Knights. Let my wife and children and me be buried with my forebears in the Baltus family tomb, at the right hand of Duke Hadrit. Signed, Valerio Baltus, 5th Lord of House of Baltus. So, under safe haven, Sada's father left a will in which he requested that he and his loved ones be buried in the Baltus family mausoleum at the right hand of Duke Hadrit. Some oil. Some beer. I don't know if I read this. Broken chairs, upended tables, and shattered vases block the stairs. Splintered planks shift precariously. All right. Baltus groundskeeper letter. This is a note addressed to the household staff. Please see to it that the family mausoleum is swept and the marble polished. The key is hanging, as always, in the kitchen by the oven. Okay, so there's a key in the kitchen. Hey, we got a kitty cat. This sharp-eyed cat is a prodigious mouser and often goes bounding off the path in search of small prey. Wan light shines from behind the map. There's a ragged hole to the outside as if someone dug through. So instead, there's a small opening to the outside. Someone must have pried a section of the wall loose. Where this person went from there is the next question. So the person they were looking for, Sada, escaped. Let's see if we can find this. This seems to be the hook mentioned in the letter, but the mausoleum key is missing. The clues I found in the Baltus Manor suggest that Sada escaped the house and fled to the family mausoleum. Alright, let's see if we can find Sada before this session is up. That's right, there was a mausoleum over here that we couldn't get into because we needed a key. This one. That's the Baltus mausoleum right here. Rescue Sada from the Baltus family mausoleum. Here she is. A little girl cowers in the back of the tomb. Her face is streaked with dirt, and even in the shadows, you can tell she's far too thin. She watches you, holding her breath. It's all right. You're safe. She inches into the candlelight. Her clothes are little more than filthy rags now, but ripped and stained fabric looks like embroidered silk. You have to be quiet. Noise brings the hungry people. Has she been here all along, says Aloth, hiding from those creatures? My name is Seda. Are you hiding from them too? She watches the door of the vault, her eyes wide and careful. You're Seda. I came across some Dargles in a house. The girl's eyes widen. You saw Mother and Father, and Emilio? How did you get away? Those aren't your parents anymore. She picks at a thumbnail, watching you. She nods slowly. Who are the hungry people? She whispers, and her eyes round with terror. The ones outside. They don't sleep or die, but they eat. Tell me what happened to you. Her eyes take a distant look. Her legs start to tremble. Use my perception to say, you're frightened, and you've been stuck here for too long, but try to remember what happened before. She takes a deep breath and stares at the stone floor. There was a big noise and light in the sky. Everyone thought it was a storm, but then people started waking up. After they died, She twists her shredded sleeve into knots. Mother and Father and Emilio boarded up the door, but the hungry people found our house. Her fidgeting becomes more agitated. They fought, but the hungry people always get up again. They broke through the door, and Mother told me to hide. And then I came here to hide, but the door got stuck, and I didn't know when it would be safe outside. Where's your family? It's weird to ask, because we already know that, but... At the house, Mother told me to hide and not let anyone in. Then I heard a lot of noise, fighting and yelling, and her eyes glazed over. And then Mother told me to open the door again, but she didn't sound right. You need to get out of here. Is it safe? Are the hungry people out there? It's still dangerous, but the path to the main gate should be clear. Run for it. I won't let anything catch me, I promise. I hope she's right. We didn't have a choice to tell her to hold for now, so I think she'll be okay. I sent Seda out of the district. She couldn't stay in the tomb much longer, and the way back was clear. So we got some experience for that. Alright. Let's loot this place, and then that'll be the end of the session. These vaults are sealed shut and sticky with cobwebs. Nestled among the candles are the odds and ends of a patchwork family memorial, Valian Lucia's, a cameo etching of a woman in finery, and a turquoise necklace.
We don't have to listen to him anymore.
Oh, iridescent scarab figurine. This Adra figurine is shaped like a small beetle. Its colorful shell catches the light in strange ways, changing hues as it's turned in one's hands. So we can summon once per rest an Adra beetle. I'll give that one to Aloth. Okay. I think that'll be it for this session. So we got a little bit more actual play done in this session as compared to last session. We got some quests completed. We finally went to go see Heritage Hill. We got our butt kicked by a phantom that was sitting in there, a former commander of the Crucible Knights, but we'll come back and get her later. And we freed Seda from her family crypt after her entire family died, so we'll have to look for her at some point, see if we can find her and see if she's okay. But yeah, that's it. Thank you again so much for watching. If you've been watching, as always, let me know if you'd like me to focus on anything in the future, if I got anything wrong, what I did right, those kinds of things. And yeah, hope to see you next time in session 27, I believe is the next one. So we'll see you then, and I hope you have a great day. Until then, bye.